All right, so we looked at factoring 2 terms in the last video. Now we're going to take a look at factoring 3 terms. So again, find the GCF of all 3 numbers. 10 goes into 50, but does not go into 25, so I'm thinking the GCF of those is 5. And then I'm looking at the variables. I see an x squared on the first term, x on the second term, but there's no x on the last term, so that is not a common factor for all 3 terms. 10 divided by 5 gives me 2, my x squared goes along. 50 divided by 5 gives me 10, my x goes along. And 25 divided by 5 is 5. So again, to double check myself, 2, 10, and 5 do not have any common factors. And again, there's no variable on all 3 terms. Next, looking at my numbers, 9 goes into 27, and 9 goes into 63, so 9 would be my GCF. Looking at my variables, I've got a to the 5th, a to the 4th, and a squared. So we grab the smallest exponent. 9 divided by 9 is 1. I've got 5 a's, and I'm pulling 2 of them out, so that gives me 3 a's left over, or a cubed. 27 divided by 9 is 3. I've got 4 a's, I'm pulling 2 out, so I have 2 left. 63 divided by 9 is 7, and I pulled out both a's, so I don't have any variables left on my last term. So again, looking at my numbers, 1, 3, and 7 don't have a common factor other than 1, and I don't have a variable on all 3 terms. All right, this last one, no numbers, so we're just looking at variables. X to the 6th, x to the 4th, x squared. So my GCF of the variables would be x squared. Y cubed, y to the 5th, y squared. This is the smallest exponent. 6 x's, I pull out 2 x's, I have 4 x's left over. 3 y's, I pull out 2, I have 1 y left over. Second term, I've got 4 x's, pulling out 2, I've got 2 left over. 5 y's, pulling out 2, I have 3 left over. And last term, 2 x's, pulling them both out. 2 y's, pulling them both out. So now be careful on this one. This is where it's common for students to just throw the parenthesis down on the end. But remember, factoring is dividing. So if I have xy squared, my last term up here, divided by, x squared y squared, which is my GCF, when you divide anything by itself, you get 1. So don't forget that placeholder. And the last piece is the U-tries. So again, make sure that you have these done when you walk in the door tomorrow so you can discuss them with your group mates.